In this video, I'm going to tell you how to get started in plumbing and make the most possible money. And if you hang around a little bit later, I'm going to tell you how I got into plumbing, how it actually worked out for me. So first of all, you've got to figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. And I know that sounds like a crazy thing. I know when I got into plumbing, I just got into be a plumber. I had no idea there were so many different opportunities. So what I'm going to talk to you first is about, do you want to do residential or commercial? Now, residential is going to be working on houses, maybe multi-family apartments, condos, things like that. Commercial or industrial is going to be much, much bigger. Maybe working at a big industrial plant or a high-rise building, possibly in downtown somewhere near you. So figuring out what you want to do there, and people may say, well, it really doesn't matter to me. Well, you may not think so until you're up on the 50th floor of a building and you're looking around and there's not much but a few cables around it to keep you up there. Some people that are afraid of heights, that would never fly with them. Now, you may want to do residential because you enjoy being, in neighborhoods. You don't like being in downtown. Some people feel that. Some really don't care. You've got to think about what's best for you. What is it you want to do? And figure out which one of those really gets you excited. The next thing is service or construction. Do you want to do service where you actually go out and work on an existing building, try to find out what's wrong and fix that? Or do you want to build something? Do you want to build something new? Do you want to do new construction? And that's really a great way to think about it. Think about yourself. Do you like to build things or do you like to fix things? Because that's really what service and construction are. Construction, you're building a new building. Service, you're going in and fixing problems. Now the last one, this is one maybe a little bit difficult for some people. Do you want to be non-union or union? If you're non-union, you can probably go out and get a job today. If you're union, you may have to go down, sign up at the union, get approved or accepted by the union. They may have an entrance exam, they may not, but there's a big interview process. And there's nothing wrong with an interview process because you're going to have that whether you're union or non-union. But union has a training center. They will have you go to school a couple of nights a week where you learn, you get educated on being a plumber right out of the book. Now, open shop, not necessarily. So non-union is open shop. What you do there is you learn from working directly with plumbers every day. In the union, you do that also, but like I said, you're going to go to school 2 nights a week. So you've got to think about it. The union has a great training program, normally has really good insurance, and normally pays well. Open shop, normally you're trained by the plumber that you work with, although some of them are associated with PHCC or CEF, Construction Education Foundation, and they may actually have a training program set up through them. So the union's not the only place you can get good training. But also open shop may have paid holidays, paid vacations, things like that. Some of these things that the union don't have unless you make it up into management level, superintendent or foreman. Then after you figure out what kind of plumber you want to be, now you got to find a job. And there's really 2 good ways to do it. If you want to do commercial, say commercial construction, look for the cranes in downtown. Go down there and see what companies are working on it and apply to those companies. If you want to do residential service, watch TV. Just kick back and relax, watch TV. Well, it works. See who's advertising, who's running ads to get plumbing jobs. Because if they're running ads, chances are they're growing, they're doing well, and if they're growing, hopefully they're looking for new people. Then when you go, you want to make sure you interview well. Go through the interview process, sit down, talk to them, but understand they are looking for people to better their company. So you want to make sure that when you come in an interview, you express your desire to learn, to grow, and to help their company. Of course, that's only if those really are your desires. Now I'm going to tell you about how I got into the trades, and then I'm going to tell you how to make the most money possible. I was actually working with a friend of mine at a hamburger restaurant. I was the manager, and I had one of my best friends working with me, and we were working one night and it was kind of slow. And he actually looked at me and he says, "So are you going to do this forever?" And I thought, you know what? I'm 16 years old. I'm managing a restaurant. Life looks good. And he looked at me and said, "So what happens if you quit or you get fired?" Well, later on that night, he talked about his father and his 3 older brothers that were all plumbers, how they loved their work and how they made good money. Now, it was probably a couple of weeks later, I either quit or I probably got fired. But I called one of his brothers and he actually got me a job plumbing. And I gotta tell you, I loved it. Now, I quit school the last half of my junior year, went to work for this plumbing company, but then later realized I wanted to go back and graduate with my class, and I'm glad I did because I needed my high school diploma. Now, right after graduation, I got right back into plumbing, and I've got to tell you, I love plumbing. I love building things, I love fixing things, and luckily, me and my 40-year career, I've done a little bit of everything all through it, including getting out of plumbing and trying different things. But I always end up back in plumbing, and I think it's because of that gratification that I get every day knowing I completed something, I built something, or I fixed something. So that's really how I got into plumbing. Had his dad and 3 older brothers been electricians, I might have been that. You never know. So now you want to figure out how to make the best money possible. And that's really very easy to do. From the day you get in, first of all, focus on your end game. Where do you want to end up? Do you want to end up as a foreman, a superintendent, or possibly own your own company? What a great way to go. But you want to start right now, day one, trying to be the very best. If you're in a union or you're in CEF, you're in PHCC, look around, look at the other people learning what you're learning. This is your competition one day. You may work for them, they may work for you. What position do you want to be in? It starts right now. Try to be the very best. If you'll try to be the very best right now, it's going to stay with you throughout your career, and it's always going to pay off. You'll get offered foreman jobs, superintendent jobs, move up to possibly project manager or director of operations. Put yourself in that position. Now, the last big tip is never stop learning. I want you to think about this because this is a big one. If you want to be in the top 5% of your industry for 30 minutes to an hour each and every day, get up and study your trade, study your profession. Learn new tools, new materials, new technology, new equipment, anything at all that you can learn to help set you apart, help move you up, and help you learn more to be better. Now, if you're already in the trades, do me a favor and leave me a comment down below and tell me, how did you get started? Because this is one of the biggest questions I get asked. How did you get started in plumbing? And really, it's how you got started in the trades, because there's a lot of opportunities there. But do me a favor, leave me a comment down below and let me know, how did you get started and how did you pick the trade, or did the trade pick you? Anyway, I'd love to hear your story, and I really would appreciate it if you'd put it down there. If you haven't done so yet, if you like what you're getting here, you think we've got great opinions, you love the stories that we talk about and the way we teach, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and slam that bell. Anyway, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.